Back to Sunrise, everyone. In major breaking news, thousands of protesters have stormed the streets in Melbourne, a normal city day turning to chaos over a global weapons expo.
Let's go live to our reporters at the scene. First to Tegan Dolling. Tegan, this situation has escalated very quickly.
It has, guys, and it seems to be escalating right now. You can see the police horses quickly moving off here behind me. What we've just seen in the last 30 seconds is all the protesters trying to now look like get around the side of the exhibition centre here. The public order response team has actually just had to really quickly run into place as well as they tried to, I suppose, stop and prevent them from being able to get around the other side of the exhibition centre. They're currently blocking the intersection of Clarendon Street and Lorimer Street, and what we did see probably just a few moments ago, which we know that went live to our viewers at Sunrise, was the police horses here being pelted with things like rocks and apples. What they're wanting to do is try and get to the delegates who are going into this Land Forces Expo. They actually stopped at one of the hotels and they were throwing apples. There was something inside some bags which we saw them throwing. We don't know what that was, but it had a horrible smell. You can see here that the police horses again look like they are being touched by some of the activists. And I can see also some things look like they're being thrown into the line of police out of here. I can hear the helicopter, the police helicopter hovering overhead too at the moment. Just a huge number of police down here trying to keep the peace. You might be able to see a lot of traffic that is also blocked. This is actually the main from the Westgate Bridge into the city. A lot of major traffic police. Head back to you. We're just being a lot of down here at the moment.
Yeah, Tegan, we might just... that is not on if people are actually mishandling our reporter. Are you okay, Tegan?
Yeah, sorry, guys. There's a lot of people down here at the moment. Very angry. They think the media are on a certain side here, which we're obviously not. We might throw back to you because there's a lot of people coming around us here at the moment.
Okay, we'll go to 7 News reporter Paul Dowsley. Where are you and what's happening?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, Paul, can you hear me? Go ahead, it's Nat.
Hey Nat, yeah, I'm just on the other side of this group from Tegan, and this seems to be the central point they are focusing on because just through here is one of the 3 entrances to get in. They seem to think that this is the entrance most of them will get in rather than the traditional front of the building. So there's been multiple flash points here at the back. I've seen police are now moving around. They had been trying to block the side entrance here. The mounted branch had come in. They're trying to just stop people getting through little gaps and little pinch points. Police have done a pretty good job of corralling them now into what is probably a pretty inconvenient location for traffic because you have multiple lanes of people saying tell the truth. And I've tried many times this morning to listen to people. What is the truth? What is the truth? I'm happy to talk to these people, but this is what happens, unfortunately. People just yell and try to crash things like this. Yeah. I'm happy to listen. That's why I'm here. But, repeatedly I've tried to get these people to speak, but it seems difficult outside a few media spokespeople.
Let's go back to Tegan Dolling, who's there as well. Thank you, Paul. We just saw there things getting a little bit uncomfortable for you, a little bit violent. Do you feel like that's going to continue to escalate there?
Yeah, like Paul was just saying, Shervo, these people have messages that they want to spread, yet they're not willing to sort of, I suppose, try and get that message across properly. But you can see it is just such a fluid scene at the moment. Police having to start to push their way back down again. And there's just so many multiple lines of police here. We've got the mounted branch, we've got the public order response, we've got the front line, the police helicopters up in the air too. Look, if we're talking about estimates of the numbers down here, there is quite a few thousand down here at the moment, and a lot of people just unable to get through on their way to work this morning. It looks like it has calmed down again for the time being. It seems like they almost go in waves, you know. They sort of try and, I suppose, attack, for want of a better word, and then they pull back again. It's like they're trying to antagonise the police a little bit. But you need to remember the expo is actually back that way. That's where the delegates are coming in. At the moment, they're wanting to focus, I suppose, what they're doing here at random intersections. So what their motive is for being here, I suppose, just to disrupt Melburnians on their way to work, because they're not actually doing anything to disrupt the Land Forces Expo at the moment.
Yeah, interesting, because they say it's a a pro-peace, anti-war protest, and they want to highlight how the defence sector supplies weapons that are used against civilians. And there are 800 organisations and companies displaying weapons and things in that convention centre. So, as you say, we are trying to ask them and talk to them about what message they are sending. It's up to them whether they stop and speak. Let's go to Andrew McCormack now. Macca, give us a sense of what you're feeling there.
Well, we're at the main entrance of the Melbourne Exhibition Centre. This is where the protesters started before heading down to where Tegan is at the other entrance. You can see there's probably just a dozen, maybe 20 or so protesters. This is actually where the main lot of delegates are walking in. So most of them, we've probably seen a couple of hundred defence personnel, defence industry personnel walk in to this checkpoint here. And this is where their credentials are checked, their ID is checked, and they're able to walk in relatively unopposed at this stage. So if they're trying to stop people from getting in at this stage, they're not successful in doing that. And you can see behind me just the ring of police as Clarendon Street is closed. So, but at this stage, it's just at the other entrance where, unfortunately, we've seen the clashes between police and protesters at this stage. But a lot of military defence personnel heading into the expo as planned this morning. Nat?
Okay, thank you, Macca. Definitely police more in control at that entrance compared to where Tegan was, Paul Dowsley was a little bit earlier. And if you didn't see it a little bit earlier, protesters throwing various things at those police horses, including their own manure. It was quite disgusting, some of those pictures that we saw earlier. The crowd mitigation with those horses, which we heard from former Detective Peter Moroney just a little bit earlier, is part of that mitigation strategy to try and bring the horses in to front line that. You can see it here. Here you go. They're quite literally throwing things at the police as they're trying to do their job.
Yeah, that was really difficult to see. So that was caught on. We were going live to air when this was happening. And as Peter Moroney, the former detective, said, their faces are covered, the people who are doing that. You would hope that that is a minority of the people protesting today. Our reporters have tried to talk to several, trying to put their case, but they haven't wanted to talk to us.
Yep.